Welcome everyone to the Planning Advisory Committee meeting of Monday, May 10th, 2021. It is just shortly after 5 o'clock, so we will call the meeting to order. If I could have somebody move the approval of the agenda, please. Thank you, Jim. Seconded by Leanne. And the third, any declarations of interest this evening?
Got to vote.
Oh, thank you, Mayor Todd. Jeepers, it has been a long day. All in favor of the agenda? Thank you. And moving on now to number 3, declarations of interest. Does anyone have any declarations of interest regarding the agenda this evening?
Madam Chair, I believe we received a prior notice of interest, and that was from member Leslie Bottagoni, and that's been noted. Very good.
Thank you. Thank you, Leslie. Okay, so now we're on to number 4, which is the minutes of the previous meeting of April 13th. If I could have somebody move that the Planning Advisory Committee minutes of April 13th, 2021 be accepted as presented, please. Thank you, Leslie. Seconded by Mayor Todd. All in favor? Thank you. Carried. And moving on to the agenda items, we have 3 items this evening. The first one being that the recommendation that the Planning Advisory Committee receive PAC report 07-2021 on the file number SBD 2021-01 and approve the variance requested of the sign bylaw 2019-16 with the following conditions. 1, that the applicant shall obtain all permits and submit payment for said permits. And 2, that the signs be installed as per the design submitted and inspected by the town in a timely manner. If I could have somebody move for discussion on that recommendation, please. Thank you, Leanne. Seconded by Mayor Todd. And with that, I believe this is Mr. Merriman.
Yeah, if this address looks familiar, it is because it is. It was literally brought up in front of PAC back in February of this year when they decided to change the menu signs in the Tim Hortons drive-through. It literally had been approved no more than a couple days, and Tim Hortons reached out to me, or another agent on behalf of Tim Hortons, to advise that they wanted to add a second drive-through, with again having 2 more video signs in that second drive-through. I did offer to them to both parties involved, because they're 2 different, although they're both Tim Hortons, they're being done by different contractors. I did offer to kind of combine it and just bring it back as, you know, a secondary report to the one of last year. Unfortunately, the one project contractor did not want to wait for the other one, so it's brought back and forth in front of you as a separate application. The exact same issues as before. There's going to be a video sign, but again, the you know, it's facing towards an industrial lot. There's no residential near it. It's not near any traffic lights or street corners. And although we will lose roughly 2 parking spots in the drive-through lanes, the reality is they had like I don't want to say 100 times, but they had way more than they needed anyways, and it should actually speed up their ability to utilize the drive-through lanes with 2 menu boards. So I did send it out to all staff, including fire operations and everything, and no one had any concerns with it. So it's brought back forth to be considered for approval.
Thank you very much, Sean. With that, does anyone have any questions or concerns or comments for Mr. Merriman about his staff report? As you say, Sean, it is really quite redundant to what we have discussed previously. And it's becoming such a common thing right now to have 2. I believe you're trying to speak, Jim. Is that possible? No? Okay, all good. Okay, I don't see any discussions or comments. So with that, all in favor to the recommendation of the sign bylaw variance? Very good, thank you, carried. The second one is I believe is the one that Leslie's just going to step out for a bit, but she will be back.
Awesome. How do I leave and then come back?
So what I will do is I will put you back into the waiting room, if that's okay.
Okay.
And then
Yep.
as soon as we're finished with that, I'll bring you back in.
Perfect. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, and so with that,
Actually, Lindsay, would you mind being able to do that?
all good, I believe. Thank you, Lindsay. The recommendation for 5.2 is that the Planning Advisory Committee approve the CIP application for 132 King Street West be approved in full in an amount up to $9,500. If I could have somebody move that so we could discuss, please. Thank you, Jim. Second by Leanne. And with that, this is Dana's staff report. And Dana, if I could ask you just to bring us the highlights of this, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Jansman. So we've got an application for CIP funding here in the amount of $9,500. They're applying for the facade category, the signage category, and the interior grant commercial portion, as well as the permit fee. So I'm sure you're all very familiar with Lux Lamar and Star Wellness. They're currently located at 392 Edward Street. Property owner is in the process of selling the property, and they are intending to relocate their business to downtown Prescott, which we were really happy to hear. And they're looking at, well, they've leased the former Forwarders Antiques Furniture Past location, so right in between Property Guys and a craft boutique. They're completing some significant renovations to the space so that it can accommodate the hair salon and the electrolysis business that the two co-owners are going to be operating. And it involves facade enhancements, which I've included a mock-up which shows you some of the colors and plans for the new signage that they have. Really happy with what we're seeing proposed so far. The sign style is exactly what we're really striving for in the downtown core. The colors are great. It's going to be accented with a gold leaf, and the sign itself will be wood lettering with a very nice backlighting in behind the lettering, which should create a really nice ambiance. You can see a sample here of what it will look like. This isn't their sign, of course, but in the package I did include a mock-up of the sign, the style that it will be. Only concern that I would know under this application, as you'll see in the picture that's included in the application package, this property is one of those situations where you've actually got two storefronts within kind of the same facade, and the owners have approached the owner of a craft boutique to see if there is interest on their part in applying the same facade treatments that they are doing to the Lux side. Lux is fully prepared to take this on. The owner of the craft boutique has indicated she'd like to see what their side looks like first, and then would make the decision from there. So my only concern there would be is, you know, it's probably very unlikely that the new Lux Lamar owners would then at that point turn around and go and apply the same treatment to the facade. For a cost-effective purpose, I think they were really hoping to do it all at the same time. And it really isn't a requirement of these owners to apply the treatment to the neighboring facade. If a craft boutique wanted to apply down the road to do her own facade improvements, she would be more than able to do so. So that's my, I guess, only concern, is that you're going to end up with a bit of potentially a bit of difference in facades. But I think it's something that I could work with a craft boutique to try and encourage her to submit her own application if we can't convince her to go along with what Lux is doing. Other than that, no concerns. There's no outstanding issues when it comes to work orders or property taxes.
Thank you very much, Dana. Any questions, concerns, comments, Mayor Todd, for this staff report?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Just to be clear on the signage on page, was it 23 of the report? That's the sign, that sort of LED backlit letters. And that'll go right on top of on page 22 where they've, so basically above the window. So we'll actually have a, okay.
Yes. Yeah, it will be a full an upper fascia sign, Mayor Todd. It won't just be the window decals.
Yeah, because that I've mentioned it before. The we've got a few places downtown with just the window decals, and they don't look great, to be honest. And you've got at least one case downtown where you've got the window stickers, but you've got nothing on the sign above it. So when you're driving by, quite frankly, the building kind of looks vacant. So maybe encouragement to do a little more like this. But the only comment I make, I think this looks fantastic. Actually, I really like the look, and for what they're doing, I think it's a great fit. But we don't really have any sort of downtown sign style design or anything. I mean, if we do, we're not following it. So that's my only, the overall concern. And it's not a question about what they're proposing, because I think this looks really nice. But at some point, maybe we need to get to that, and maybe there's some sort of, I don't know, maybe it's too late to really add it in now. But I know we've talked about it in the past, and not had any kind of backlighting, only lighting over the top. This wouldn't fit that, but then it's different than from a traditional backlighting as well. So anyways, I just say I really like the look of it. I just, my only concern is how, do we want to go down the road and really look at, a standard style down there to enhance the historic look of the downtown and so forth with we talked about that in the past with duct lighting. And I think that's basically what they're doing in the H&R Block, aren't they? They've got the overhanging, the duct lights, or whatever you call them. So that's just the only comment, but I am really glad they're putting an actual proper sign here and not just the window stickers. But it's going to be a really nice looking building inside and out. You can tell that there's a lot of attention being paid to detail here. So all in favor. It's just the signage thing's maybe a greater question we want to ask ourselves at some point. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Dana, thank you for bringing up the concern about it kind of maybe looking lopsided, if you will, with one being done like a name, unlike just in the window, like Mayor Todd was saying. So what you're proposing is that there's still hope that maybe the second half will come into play?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's nice when you have these co-located storefronts that are almost, one property facade split into two storefronts. If you can try to create some consistency where possible, while still allowing them to have their own, of course, unique differentiation and branding for the business. I think it's more just that the craft boutique side is starting to look a little bit tired. And once the luxe side gets fixed up, it's going to make it that much more obvious.
Right. Okay, anyone else having comments or questions for Dana? I know I spoke with Dana about this before the meeting, just verifying that our CIP program didn't have a stipulation because this business owner already participated, and of course Dana put my mind at ease and said that is still okay, and it actually it's kind of a good thing that they're moving downtown, because now yet another application will result in a location in our downtown getting done for a very small amount of investment on our part. So I just wanted to mention that. Okay, with that being said, if no more questions or comments, if we could call for a vote, please. All in favor? Good stuff. Thank you very much. Carried. And Lindsay, I will just give you a minute to bring Leslie back. Okay, Leslie's back. To me, she's upset, she's sideways, but anyway, she's back. That's good. Moving on to 5.3, the recommendation is that the Planning Advisory Committee approve the CIP application for 201 Water Street be approved in full in the amount of $1,500. If somebody could move that recommendation for me. Mayor Todd, thank you. Seconded by. Thank you, Councilor Burton. Thank you. And with that being the case, I'm gonna, if you could, Dana, would you speak to this report?
Certainly. Thank you, Chair Jansman. So we've got a second application here, which is somewhat related to the one that we just previously approved. So this is the former tenant for the property at, they've relocated to the Forwarders Museum, which was recently sold by the town. It's Forwarders Antiques, and they've since opened in their new location at 201 Water Street. Really great fit. I don't know if you've had a chance to go in, probably not with the pandemic restrictions, but they've done a really good job renovating and really equipping it to fit their needs. It's very well appointed. It's a wonderful fit with the property, and it's great to be able to bring the public back into that space again, even though it's not functioning as a formal museum. So they have applied for CIP funding to support the new signage installation on their property. It's a great design. I've included a mock-up of the sign with the application. They actually developed a new logo and business name as part of their move. And I think it's a really great fit, and it's they're very pleased with the location, and they're also developing some other, a few portable signs and things of that nature to go along with it. But I think it's a strong application. There's no concerns as far as outstanding fees or property taxes haven't actually been dealt with yet because it's just changed hands. So there can't be any outstanding issues there too early. So yeah, there's no concerns from a staff perspective. I think it's a great project and very happy to provide approval recommendation to the committee.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Yeah, I personally think that the change in the name of the business is so appropriate for that particular location. Any others comments from staff committee members to this staff report? I can't wait to get inside after this stupid pandemic. Okay, with that being said, all in favor? Perfect. Thank you very much. Moving on to our standing agenda item of the financial record. I'm not sure if Matthew wants to speak to it at all, but now that the two recommendations have just been voted on, it as the easy read report that has been provided, that leaves just over just short of 83,000 for us to continue the year in considering spending if the applications come in for that. So does anybody have any comments or questions? Or Matthew, do you have anything you want to say to this staff, to this financial report?
No, I think you captured it very well. We still have just shy of 83,000, as you mentioned, and more than happy to continue working throughout the year to have that spent.
Perfect. Anyone have questions for Matthew? Great. Okay. Moving on. Any new business for this committee? Jim?
Chair, it's not new business. I may have missed it. Did we adopt the minutes from the previous meeting? I know we did adopt the agenda. I can't remember if we adopted the previous minutes.
Oh, quite possibly not. Oh, we did. Oh, Lindsay's telling me we did.
We did? Oh, thank you.
It was moved by Leslie and Mayor Todd.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, of course, no period, no media questions, so that's all good. So our next item is adjournment. So just before we call that, thank you again for meeting at this awkward 5 o'clock time. Always appreciated. And who wants to move the agenda, the adjournment? Thank you. Brett, second by Jim. And all in favor? Good stuff. Thanks again. Everybody have a nice evening, and till next time.
Thanks, Chair. Thanks, everyone.
Have a good
Thank
night.
you, everyone.
Good night.
Right.